Hi, I'm Janelle from MyCase. In this video, the third in our billing and invoicing series, I will show you how to create a single invoice. Let's get started by clicking on the Billing tab, selecting Invoices, and then Add Invoice. The new invoice screen has two tabs, From Open Balances and From Scratch. The From Open Balances screen shows you every matter with an open balance waiting to be invoiced. All open hourly time entries, expenses, and flat fee balances appear in the fee structure column. You can search for a specific fee structure by selecting the drop-down under Fee Structure and selecting the type of fee you're looking for. From Scratch allows you to create ad hoc invoices for any case/matter in the system. Clicking this will take you straight to the invoice editor, where you will choose a client and a case/matter to invoice. When you open the invoice page, we see a snapshot of all our invoices and their status. You can select View in the case number to see or edit an existing invoice. You can also send reminders from here and record payments or even delete an invoice. To create a new invoice, let's select the Add Invoice button, where you can add, edit, and delete line items on the invoice. To do that, let's select the Invoice This Case button. At the top of the screen, you'll see the invoice header block, where you can enter basic information about the invoice, such as due date, client and case information, and an invoice number. You can also filter by date range, since all time and expense entries have dates associated with them, specifying a start and end date. All the flat fee time entries and expenses appear below the client's name. You can add, edit, and remove line items from the invoice as you see fit. You have the option to add discounts, additions, tax, or interest to your invoice under Adjustments by selecting the drop-down next to the item entered. You can also designate whether you would like it to be applied to part of the invoice or the subtotal by selecting the option in the Apply To column drop-down. And if you'd like it to be a flat amount or a percentage by selecting the drop-down under Type. When creating a new invoice for a case, you can take any previously unpaid balances by selecting them under the Unpaid Balance Forward column and selecting the checkbox to forward them to the new invoice. Enter any terms, conditions, or notes that you would like to be included on the invoice to the Terms and Conditions free form text field. If trust accounts or credit funds are available in your client's account, you can apply them to the invoice by adding the amount to the Amount to Apply number field and the account it will be applied to. You can include a summary or a complete history of a client's trust or credit account on the invoice. Simply select an option from the drop-down. Use the Payment Plan feature by enabling it to break up the invoice total in the individual payment installments, either manually or with the Payment Plan generator. Then select the contacts you would like to share this invoice with by clicking the checkbox next to their name. If their client portal access is enabled, you can share the invoice to the client portal for them to view. If you cannot accept online payments, you can either enable online payments for this invoice before sharing it with your client. Choose the bank account their payment is made into before saving the invoice and sharing it with them. Here is what a saved invoice looks like. You can quickly print it as a PDF if you need to print a hard copy, or email the invoice directly to the client. Once the invoice is saved, you can click the Edit Invoice at any time by going back to the invoice in the Invoice tab and clicking the Edit button. In this video, you learned how to create an invoice. In the next video, we will be looking at batch billing. If you have any questions about how invoicing works, select the Get Help button at the bottom of your screen and type Billing and Invoicing Guide and search for help, or start a conversation by sending us a message.